Let's be real, the North Carolina DMV has a reputation. We've all heard the stories, the endless lines, the convoluted process, and the soul-crushing moment you realize you brought the wrong piece of paper and have to start all over. It's enough to make some question their move to North Carolina. But what if I told you there's a way to conquer the NCDMV? A way to get it all done, stress-free, in a single well-prepared trip. It's not a myth. People have done it, and the key is being properly prepared, which is what you'll get from this video. We're going to cover the documents, the fees, and the secrets that you need to walk into the DMV office with total confidence and walk out with everything you need. We'll demystify the process for new residents and even cover what to do if you're moving just within the state. First things first, let's talk timelines. Once you move to North Carolina and make it your permanent home, the state gives you about 60 days to get your new driver's license. This isn't a suggestion, it's the official guideline to avoid any potential hassles down the road. That 60-day clock can start ticking when you start a job or enroll your kids in school, so it's best to get moving on it sooner rather than later. I will say the NCDMV is known to be very backed up, so while I don't suggest procrastinating, if you find yourself not meeting the 60-day deadline, don't stress too much. There is some leniency here. Now for the million-dollar question, do you need an appointment? For a long time, the answer was a hard yes, but here's some good news. As of 2025, things have changed. All NCDMV driver's license offices now serve walk-in customers all day, every day they're open. But I would suggest an appointment, as some offices have long lines forming outside the doors before the NCDMV office even opens up. The problem is getting one, so here's how you do it. You can book appointments on the NCDMV website for up to 7 days in advance. It used to allow bookings much further out, but now it's 7 days. A new day is added each weekday at midnight, meaning one more full day of appointments opens at a time and everyone has a fair shot. So your best option is to refresh the booking site at midnight on a weeknight and see if you can book an appointment. It's harder than ever to get an appointment because most locations are just booking appointments from open to around lunchtime, leaving more space for walk-ins. Another tip, be willing to drive. Don't go for the most popular locations in Raleigh or Charlotte. Find the closest rural location to you and try there. A 30 to 45 minute drive may end up saving you hours when it's all said and done. If you don't get an appointment, check the scheduler often, as people are canceling and rescheduling often and appointment times may pop up. If you can't find an appointment time, the NCDMV has made walk-ins more feasible than before. Most offices are open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but there are a number of extended office hour locations open at 7 a.m. and also open on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to noon for walk-ins only. I would highly suggest again trying a more rural location if trying to walk in, and going even before the office opens at 6 a.m. to get your spot in line. Also, think about teacher work days when kids are home from school but parents still have to work. And better yet, if schools are canceled due to inclement weather but still reasonable enough to drive, that's another great time to try to walk in. All right, the next major hurdle and the number one reason people get turned away is showing up with the wrong documents. The NCDMV is incredibly strict here. You must bring original documents or certified copies. No photocopies, no pictures on your phone. They will send you right back home. Let's build your perfect document folder for those getting your North Carolina license for the first time. You'll need one item from each category. First, proof of identity and date of birth. Your best bets are a valid, unexpired U.S. passport or a certified copy of your U.S. birth certificate. Your valid, unexpired out-of-state license is also an acceptable primary document for a standard transfer. Second, proof of your social security number. An original social security card is perfect. If you can't find it, a W-2, a 1099, or a recent pay stub showing your full name and full social security number will also work. Third, separate documents providing your North Carolina residency. This trips a lot of people up. You can use a current utility bill, water or electric, a cable bill, a bank statement, your signed lease agreement, a mortgage statement, or your NC vehicle registration card. The key is that they must have your name and current North Carolina address on them. Note that if you're getting a real ID, you need 2 forms of address verification. And a crucial side note, if your current name is different from the name on your birth certificate or passport due to marriage or divorce, etc., you absolutely must bring the legal document that proves the change. This could be a certified marriage certificate or an official court order. Without it, they can't connect the dots and your application stops there. Now for a piece of the puzzle that feels like an insider secret, your proof of liability insurance. This isn't just about having insurance, it's about having the right North Carolina insurance. To get a license and register your car here, you need a policy from a provider that's licensed to do business in North Carolina. Your policy from your old state, even with a big national company, won't cut it if it hasn't been officially switched to a North Carolina policy. policy. Call your agent before your DMV visit and get that policy transferred. Here's the pro tip that will save you a world of pain. Bring a printed physical copy of your proof of insurance. It can be the official card they mail you or a formal document from your provider. While some offices might be lenient and accept digital proof, it's not a guarantee. That one piece of paper sends countless people home empty-handed. Don't let that be you. On the screen, it shows the different forms showing proof of insurance that you would need to bring. Note that the specific person who is getting their license must be on the proof of insurance form, so make sure everyone is listed. Also, there are minimum coverage requirements, so make sure that you have at least these amounts. I would expect an insurance agent to guide you through this, but it's good to know nonetheless. So you've got your appointment time in a folder stuffed with every original document we just covered. So what happens now? The good news is, if you have a valid, unexpired license from another state, the process is pretty straightforward. The written and road tests are typically waived. For most out-of-state transfers, you'll need to pass 2 simple tests. First, a vision screening to make sure you meet the state's driving standards. Second, a road sign recognition test where you'll identify common traffic signs by shape and meaning. It's never a bad idea to give the North Carolina Driver's Handbook a quick skim online beforehand, just to be safe. And they do have one-pagers at the DMV office that you can study up on while you wait. After the tests, it's time to pay the fee. A standard Class C license costs $650 per year. So a typical 8-year license will run you $52. While many offices now accept credit and debit cards with a minor fee, some smaller ones might not. It's always a safe bet to bring cash or a check just in case. Finally, they'll take your picture and you will surrender your out-of-state license. They'll invalidate it, giving you a temporary driving certificate. This paper is your legal license until your permanent hard plastic North Carolina license arrives in the mail, which usually takes about 7 to 20 business days. So here's the biggest pain. Getting your license is just part one. Next up is titling and registering your vehicle in North Carolina, which should be done within about 30 days of moving. That doesn't line up well with that 60 days I mentioned earlier, which is why there is some leniency here. To get your title, registration, and tags, you have to go to a completely separate office called a license plate agency, not the driver's license office. The best part, these agencies are typically walk-in only, so no appointment is needed. The lines for these are nowhere near the length of the driver's license offices, but it's still best to go to a more rural office and avoid the busier lunchtime hours. To get your car registered, you'll need its original title. If you have a loan and a bank holds the title, bring your previous state's registration card and the lender's information. You'll also need your new North Carolina driver's license or that temporary certificate and that same printed proof of your North Carolina insurance. There are a couple forms that need to be filled out: the title application, and for vehicles less than 10 years old, the odometer disclosure. You can fill these out at the agency and get them notarized there for a fee, which you'll need to pay in cash for, or you can fill them out in advance, which I recommend to simplify the process. The title application does require a notarization though. Then come the fees. You'll pay a title fee of $66.75, a plate fee of $39.75 to $53.75 depending on your county, and the one-time only highway use tax of 3% of your vehicle's value up to a max of $250. So you're looking at a decent payment here at the license plate agency. But this isn't all. You also owe North Carolina property tax. You can typically pay that at the license plate agency, but many times people opt for a temporary 60-day tag, and then the property tax bill will then come in the mail for you to pay within those 60 days to get the permanent tag. Note that you will typically walk out with the new license plate itself, but if you want a specialty or customized tag, those will be ordered here and shipped to your new address. Note that you do not have to get your vehicle emissions inspection prior to getting your registration for the first time, but you will be required to get it before your next annual renewal. Now, for those moving within North Carolina who already have a license, you are required by law to get a new license updated with your new address information within 60 days of moving. I've moved quite a bit over the last 10 years, and the easiest way to do this is simply go online to the NCDMV website and you can place the order by uploading documentation. No trip to the NCDMV is needed. In fact, once established in North Carolina, the vast majority of DMV-related services can be done online, like ordering replacement licenses or registrations, renewing your license, which can be done online up to 6 months before and up to a year after expiration, and paying your annual property tax and registration renewal. For license renewals, you are now allowed up to 2 cycles of renewal without having to physically go into the office to renew. So make sure you take advantage of this new rule to save yourself some time. So bottom line here, if you're moving from out of state, first get your insurance set up in North Carolina. Get your driver's license first and and ensure you have all the required original hard copy documents. Next, go to a license plate agency with additional documentation and pay for the title, registration, and tags. Follow these steps and you can turn one of the most complained about North Carolina experiences from a major pain to just a little bit of pain. Welcome to North Carolina. To learn more about the Raleigh area, please check out some of our latest videos, and thank you for watching.